That didn't last long. Russia is back to threatening us again. Let's go and see where this video takes us. This is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's jump into it, guys.
Just days into President Trump's 50-day peace deal deadline, Russia issuing threats over America's support for Ukraine. The deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council saying, quote, "The statements of Western politicians on this topic are complete nonsense. We need to act accordingly to respond in full and, if necessary, launch preemptive strikes."
Meanwhile, top NATO leaders are working hard to get U.S. Patriot missiles to Ukraine.
Preparations are underway. We're working very closely with the Germans on the Patriot transfer, and the guidance that I've been given has been to move out as quickly as possible. Air defense is important on the modern battlefield, and we've seen the scale of recent Russian attacks against Ukraine, so it is a key focus area.
Here with more is U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us. So that comment about a potential preemptive strike by Russia into the West was by Dmitry Medvedev. How seriously is NATO taking something like that?
Should be 8 out of 10.
Well, obviously, we take every threat seriously. NATO was built to deter and defend, especially against Russia. So, this is not surprising. But at the same time, I think this kind of reckless, threatening and even trying to suggest that nuclear weapons are an option, I think is, a very dangerous escalation.
Yeah, that's definitely an older suggestion. I mean, they basically suggested that, let's say, about a month ago.
But, we're obviously prepared for any threat to the alliance, and we'll, make sure that we are always ready for any threat to the alliance.
Ambassador, I know you can't go into specifics, but since Trump announced the 50-day negotiation window, has Russia shown any willingness to negotiate at all? And do you think the transfer of these Patriot missiles will ultimately force Putin to the table?
Well, first of all, obviously, Ukraine needs to defend itself, and that's what President Trump has been clear about. Whether or not Vladimir Putin comes to the table and agrees to a ceasefire and ultimately negotiates an enduring peace in Ukraine, that's up to him. It's very clear that President Zelensky is ready to make a deal.
I mean, obviously, Zelensky is ready. I mean, think about this here. You have this gigantic force that's outside your gates, let's say, and some parts of the gate have already been basically broken, right? Where you have another country, right, entering into your country and sitting on your land and lobbing missiles at you and drones, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, Zelensky absolutely wants to, because he himself knows that his people can no longer really stand for this or stand it, truthfully. But here's a problem. Putin is not to be trusted. Like, he's not to be trusted under any circumstances. I mean, nothing that he says means anything. Not from what we've encountered so far, at least, right? I mean, every single deal we've attempted to kind of have or broker with him, what has happened? Nothing. He's gone against it and still struck after, peace talks have already started. Imagine this for a second here. Putin absolutely under no circumstances wants Ukraine to exist, specifically in any type of like democracy type of thing, because his people speak a similar language, guys. Let's understand this for a second here. What Putin wants is for Ukraine not to exist in a manner that it exists, because it basically would give his people specifically kind of ammunition to want the same thing. So this is kind of where we are here. I cannot imagine Putin coming to the table at all. He's going to consistently, say a whole lot of craziness kind of towards us and about us and, around us, let's say, if the United States of America helps, because he knows if he messes with any of our interests, let's say, this is why Trump was trying to broker that deal, giving us like mineral rights in certain places, because then that means that we actually have something there. What does that mean? If you affect our stuff, then we will retaliate. Okay, so this is the problem here. Putin is not going to come to the table. He doesn't want to come to the table. He doesn't want to have a conversation about this. He just wants to completely annihilate the Ukraine. The reality of the scenario here, guys. But let's continue.
And has expressed that. But at the same time, we are providing the weapons necessary. Ukraine has identified Patriot systems and air defense as the most important thing on their list. And so obviously you heard General Grinkowicz. He's moving out on that, and there's a lot of other things that we're moving out on as well. And I think President Trump has created an urgency that we're all trying to meet right now here in Brussels and really across NATO and across the U.S. Military.
Yeah, you are coordinating this effort to get these Patriot missiles to Ukraine. So where are we on that? Are there any challenges in getting these missile systems to Ukraine? And what about the backfill?
Yeah, well, obviously, we're working very closely with our allies and with the industry in the United States that manufactures these systems. They're a high demand, low availability weapon system, but there's so many other things in addition to the Patriots. That's just number one on the list, especially as you're seeing record attacks overnight in many nights in Ukraine and on the battlefield. But I want to be clear, Carly, that since day one, President Trump has been very clear that we need peace, that this senseless killing must stop, that there's no military solution to this war. And at the same time, President Trump has also said that the days of the U.S. sending unlimited taxpayer dollars to defend Ukraine are over. And that's why this smart decision by President Trump and an agreement with NATO, where our NATO European allies together with Canada are paying for these weapons, I think it's just a natural extension of what we saw at The Hague in our summit last month, where these weapons are manufactured in the U.S. by American workers. They're the best in the world. And so this transition that we've talked about before of Europe taking over its own defense and paying for it is America First foreign policy at work.
Yeah. Peace through strength, made in America, paid for by Europe. I don't know if that fits on the Trump administration.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, we're just talking now. I like the idea of it. Again, if we have the ability to kind of benefit in some meaningful manner, let's say based off of the amount of financial influence, let's say, we've had in that region specifically for a while using our tax dollars, it would be great if we actually could kind of come out of it, better in some way. I'm not saying specifically them purchasing the Patriot missiles are going to really benefit the American people. Not really. It's going to benefit a small subsection of American people that own the company who's manufacturing them, let's say, right? But to my knowledge, we were actually running out of them. So either way, let's go and see. Maybe that was just for us to kind of pull out of a specific place in a meaning in like a large manner, let's say. Either way, we're here for that. As long as we have enough for us, which I'm pretty sure we do, guys. I have no problem with other people buying things to kind of protect themselves as long as they're paying for it and they're not gifts. Okay, I'm down for it. Now, Russia threatening us again, guys. This is just a Tuesday, all right? This is not a Tuesday. This is just a Friday. Okay, basically, all right. That's what this is. I mean, Russia is our adversary. Okay, you expect that. That's not brand new information, but either way, we're here for that. Listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. And again, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. All right, I'll catch you guys later.